Why, hello folks. So, it's another Helminth build guide. It's Rhino again. So, the last Helminth build guide I put out was for Rhino. And it was a build guide where I used Airburst from Zephyr, thanks to the new augment mod. Airburst rounds. That's let you do like a bunch of damage with your secondary weapon and stuff. And in that video I lamented the fact that Rhino doesn't really have any super good damage dealing abilities as he sort of trails off in the late game because he just can't keep up with the big heavy hitters when it comes to the damage department. But I was super wrong about that. So this video is the result of a tip that I got about specifically Reave. Revenant's Reave, which I have done a Helminth build guide before on Garuda, that you can combine Reave with her number 4 ability to basically do infinite damage. And guess what? You can do infinite damage with Rhino too. So first of all, I have to explain Reave, because not everyone understands how Reave works. So it says 80% here, but that's because I have 200% ability strength. Normally, this icon says that when you rush through an enemy with Reave, you drain 40% of their health. That's not true. It drains 40% of the health of an enemy that's been enthralled by Revenant. If you rush through a normal enemy that has not been enthralled, it deals 8% of their health as damage. So when you use Reave in like another Warframe, as sort of an endgame thing, you want to figure out a way to get that 8% up to 100%. That's the goal. Because Reave does a special kind of damage. It does a... it just takes a percentage of the enemy's total health. It doesn't care about armor. It doesn't care about shields. It just takes a percentage of their health. So if you can get this to do 100% health drain, then you will kill any enemy. Any normal enemy in the game. You just reave through them and they die. And Rhino can do this. The reason why Rhino can do this is because Rhino has Roar, which can double his damage on his abilities. Not everyone can do that. So there are a couple of Warframes that can do that, but not everyone. So the goal is here to have exactly 200% ability strength. I think, like, hey, if you get like 199, that's probably gonna work too. But it's gotta be like at about exactly 200% ability strength for this to work. So this is the build. It's a very energy-hungry build, and Rhino doesn't have a big energy pool as it is, so we are running Arcane Energize, that's mandatory. Running Endurance Drift to squeeze out a little bit of more energy. We are using Primed Flow to increase the energy pool, and we are using a max rank Fleeting Expertise to increase efficiency. Other than that, it's just sort of like you need these two augments for endgame with Rhino. It lets you use his Iron Skin to get a ton of our armor so that you can survive. You survive with your Iron Skin. So, here is what you do. You start by doing the Iron Skin thing with your Rhino, which is you charge through enemies, and then you cast Iron Skin. And then you'll have, what, 15,000 armor. Yeah, that's gonna keep you going for a while. Whenever your armor gets low, since you have the augments, you can just manually remove your Iron Skin, charge through some enemies, reapply your Iron Skin, you're back up to being immortal. That's your survivability. We now have your survivability covered. Now here is the damage. You need a Kuva core. You need a Kuva core for this build. And I have built it to basically max out status chance as much as humanly possible. Embedded Catalyzer, after you cast an ability, you can just aim with this for even more status chance. And you want a bunch of different stuff, but mostly you want Viral, and you want Viral to be the one that does the most damage, because that means it gets priority. So that whenever an enemy is hit with a status proc, it's most likely gonna be a Viral proc. That's important. That means, with everything we have here, it's very easy to get enemies up to 10 viral stacks. I'll show you. I'll aim and zap. See there? 10 viral stacks. It just took like that little of a zap and they're at 10 viral stacks. So, here is the equation. With 200% ability strength, Reave goes from 8% of the enemy's total health to 16% of the enemy's total health. With 200% ability strength, Roar goes up to a 100% damage increase, which means that Reave goes from 16% of the enemy's total health to 32% of the enemy's total health. And Viral, the status chance Viral, adds a debuff to enemies that makes them take more damage. At 10 stacks, which is the maximum, enemies take 325% more damage. So 325% more damage on 32% is 104%. So we have done it. We have increased the number up to 100. Which means, with this, we can kill any enemy in the game. Any normal enemy in the game. It doesn't work on like bosses and stuff like that. So what you do is, I'm also using a Panzerwelpephyla because the Panzerwelpephyla shoots spores on enemies that spread viral. So as you can see, this guy already has 10 viral procs on him thanks to my Panzerwelpephyla. So I don't even need to prime him with the Kuva Nukor. All I do is I cast Roar, I cast Reave, and look at that. He dies. He dies because I reaved through him. He has 10 viral stacks and he dies. This guy's got 5 viral stacks. So he's not gonna die when I reave through him. He's just almost gonna die, but he didn't die. If you want a guaranteed kill, you want them to be at 10 viral stacks. And with a Kuva Nukor, you just do this. And then everything around you is at 10 viral stacks. And my Roar ran out, so they don't die. So you're gonna reapply your Roar. Charge through them. And they die! That's how the build works! So long as your Roar is active, and so long as the enemies have 10 viral stacks on them, they will die. It does not matter what level they are. It does not matter how much armor they have. This scales infinitely because you are simply taking a percentage of their health instead of dealing a fixed amount of damage. So yes, with this combo of Rhino's Roar, a Kuva Nukor, and Reave, you can kill any enemy in the game. It doesn't matter which level they are. You can do infinite damage. Enemies level up, this will do more damage. Enemies level up more, this will do more damage. This goes on forever. So, yes, look at that. Rhino's one of the big boys now. Rhino is one of the big boys together with my Reave Garuda build. If you haven't checked that one out, you should check that one out too. That one works with slash procs instead to create the same effect. But this one is more straightforward. It's simply just using Reave and buffing the damage of Reave until you hit that 100% number. Yeah. So just take this one for a spin and you can push Rhino just as high up as you want to go. Now, obviously, you still want to run with like a good melee weapon or something because you won't be able to kill acolytes this way. So you gotta have like a backup plan for the acolytes if you're doing like skill essence farming. But for any normal enemy in the game, doesn't matter how high we go, they're gonna die in one hit. One shot any enemy in the game. Is that a good selling point? Is that something that's gonna make you wanna play Rhino? One shot any enemy in the game? Yeah, let's go with that for the title of the episode. Alright, that's the Helminth build. I will see you guys tomorrow for something completely different.